All right, we are back for video number 2, and last time I showed you guys a lot of training. I thought that it would be interesting this time to walk you guys through a lot of eating. Today is my high carb day, so I've kind of got low day that I do on my rest days. I've got my normal day that I do on most of my training days throughout the week, and then I have a high day that I do specifically on my arm days. So it is arm day today, and I wanted to walk you guys through how I'm getting all this food in, specifically on these high days. I think when I tallied it up, it's about 5,600 calories, and it's about 987, so we'll call it about 1,000 grams of carbs that needs to go down in that process. So I thought I would give you guys kind of some free game on how I'm getting that much food in, some tips and tricks for keeping things like digestion moving, making sure that your appetite stays good, and maybe some meal tips too that have helped me keep consistently putting down food in the off season. I think that's the number one thing I hear from most guys who are trying to get big is, I just can't eat that much. And you probably can eat that much. You're maybe just not using all the little tips and tricks that are at your disposal to make that happen. So it's still pretty early in the morning here. Usually, just to give you some context on how I start my days, usually fast for the first, maybe 2 hours. So I'll get up, I'll have a cup of black coffee, I'll come sit down here in my office and get to work on responding to emails. I'll go through client check-ins if I have any to do. I message all of my guys. I get my marketing done on Facebook, and I really just try to get the day organized so that I have, tasks that I can work on throughout the day. Once that coffee's done, I go and I take a nice little dump, and then after that, I weigh myself. So this morning we were 265.3 pounds, which is good. We kind of dropped down to about that 260 mark for the last week or so, and just starting to see body weight climb again. So that's exciting. The body composition is better than it was when I was the same weight, maybe 2-3 weeks ago. So we kind of just keep doing this little peaks and valleys thing, but every time we hit a new peak, it gets a little bit tighter and a little bit better, which is exciting. We still got a ways to go kind of in this off season, at least another 4, maybe 8 weeks. We're kind of scoping things out for the end of the summer to get back on stage and see where that takes us. So right now it's all just about continuing to make improvements. So coffee's done, weighed myself in. I'm going to continue doing a little bit more work here for maybe 15-20 more minutes. While I do that, I try to get down at least a liter of water before doing my cardio. In here I've also got a 1/4 teaspoon of Himalayan salt, so about 500 milligrams of sodium, as well as about 400 milligrams of magnesium. I like to do both of those before I go do cardio. If you guys follow my Instagram, I talked a lot about cramping. This is a real thing for me. Like when I go, it doesn't matter if it's the stairs, the bike, I could walk on a treadmill, my quads cramp like crazy. Sometimes I'll do some ab training in there, and that was always a big inhibitor for me in the past of really maintaining consistent ab training, was cramping. So we're going to get all this down. We're going to finish some work on here, and then after that cardio, we'll get into our meals from there. So thank you guys for tuning in, and hope you enjoy. Okay, this is the first meal. We just finished cardio. This is going to be mostly goop. So this is 300 grams of Greek yogurt, 10 grams of honey, 100 grams of blueberries. We have 2 whole eggs, and then we have 2 bagels with 20 grams of jam on them. I'll put the macros and stuff for this meal somewhere in this area, and then we're gonna eat this, and we will catch you guys for meal 2. One of the things I was gonna say, the reason I like this meal, especially early in the morning, there's some thought process behind this, is if you eat the eggs first, because cold eggs are gross, and then you have your bagels with the jam on them, you get through all the stuff that's tastes good and is really easy to eat. Then all you have left is a bunch of yogurt and bagels. And what you can do is take your bagels and dunk them in the yogurt, and now they're nice and moist, they're easier to chew. It makes the meal really easy to get down. I think that for whatever reason, I feel like yogurt is a controversial food in bodybuilding diets, but it's got a lot of protein. It's got good probiotics or prebiotics, one of those in them. So it's actually setting up your gut biome, I feel pretty well for the rest of the day too. So just thought I would throw that in there. That's one of the reasons I do this. You can get your dunk on and make it a little bit easier to get that meal down. So we'll wrap this up and see you for the next one. We need to make chicken for both the second and the third meal for today. We're gonna eat it back to back. I'm a little behind here, but I wanted to walk you guys through how I prep the chicken, because this has been really helpful, especially eating 2 of these meals back to back in an off-season setting. I think there's a couple things that you should be doing if you're not doing them already. for your chicken to actually taste good, so you can get through it without suffering too much. So first things that are always really helpful is 1, having a good, really sharp knife, and then 2, trimming your chicken breast. I see a lot of people just like literally take this and slap it on a pan and throw it in the oven, and that's how you dry your chicken out. It gets really rubbery. It's disgusting. I did that for a long time, and it was not good. So the first thing you want to do, get your knife, trim your chicken breast. So all this like nasty stuff that you see, you might get veins, there might be fat, there might be a little bit of like bones in there. I'm not overly cautious with it, but anything that looks like, you know, it can be taken off. A lot of the times when you end up cooking it, it just ends up gristly, kind of has like this nasty texture to it. It burns, plus it's just not what we're looking to get. We really just want this nice, like, actual meaty part of the meat here. So trim your chicken breast, and then the second thing you want to do is tenderize it. So you get yourself one of these tenderizing mallets. It's got these nice spikes, great murder weapon if you ever need one, but really good for making chicken. And we're going to tenderize that and move on to the next step. All right, now that you've beaten your meat in the kitchen, we're going to take once you beat your meat in front of your entire family in the kitchen and you collect everything into a nice marinating tray like this, you're going to see there's a bunch of nasty leavings that we don't want to eat. My last step on this, I think if you're in the off season, you're at a point where you're eating a lot of food, you do what you got to do to get the food down. So I do this Lori's marinade. It's like a 15-minute marinade. Big things I look for: there's no fat in this. There's like 4 grams of carbohydrates per tablespoon. If we divide that out over, what is this, almost a 5-pound pack of chicken, I'm really not worried about the added calories from this. In a prep setting, when we start dieting and calories become restricted, of course, this is like the first thing to go, but right now we're pushing food. We want things to taste good. We want to be able to eat them quickly. So I just kind of do, for each one of these trays, for every like 5 pounds, I don't know exactly how much it is, but it is about maybe a third, maybe a quarter of the bottle or so, because I can just go right below that neck. This is a new one. We're gonna mix this up, throw it in the fridge, let that sit for about 15 minutes, and we'll just pull one out and throw it in the air fryer because we gotta get to eating here. We had a little bit of a change of plans, so my second meal is actually going to be my pre-workout meal today. So this is the high carb day pre-workout meal. I think it's like, this is 60, that's like 35. There's probably like 200 something grams of carbs that we're eating pre-workout. That consists of 350 grams of Calrore's sushi rice, the good stuff. 160 grams of chicken, so we do drop the protein a little bit on this meal. 150 grams of pineapple, and then 10 grams of avocado oil. So that's my trough. We also have half a bagel with some jam on it. It's probably about 10 grams. And then we do one of these naked juices as well. So we're going to take our time putting this down, try not to fall asleep after, and then we will go and get some training in, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds dry.
Okay, this is the post-workout smorgasbord, if you will. I have no many idea. That's how good I'm doing. I have no idea how many grams of carbs or how many calories even this meal is, but I'm going to walk you through what we have to put down here. First off, we have this giant bowl of off-brand Cocoa Pebbles. So it's 140 grams of rice-based cereal, 30 grams of honey, 20 grams of peanut butter. We have a whole pack of Pop-Tarts, so 2 of those. We have 1 banana. We have 50 grams of blueberries. We have another half of a bagel with jam, and then we also have 2 scoops of whey protein isolate. We're going to put this down. Macros will be somewhere on the screen again for you, and we will catch you for meal number 4 after this. This is meal number 4. It is 9:25 p.m. I don't know why I do this to myself, but it feels like any day that isn't a rest day, I'm up until like midnight eating. I started early today. Usually I don't even eat my first meal until like noon, to be totally honest. Today I had my first meal at like 9:30, and somehow I'm here at 9:30 p.m. with 2 more meals to eat. This meal is going to look familiar. This is almost exactly the same as the chicken and rice meal I eat before my workout, so it's so exciting. It's 300 grams of rice. It's 180 grams of chicken, so a little more in here. 150 grams of pineapple and 10 grams of avocado oil, although I messed up. So there's really like 15 grams of avocado oil in here, so I'm just getting extra fat today, but we're gonna throw a show on or something. I'm gonna eat this. I wanna maintain consciousness as much as possible, and I will see you later this evening for meal 5, which is different than all the other meals. I'm excited to share it with you, and now I'm really on the hook to get it done quickly because I want to stop filming this video today. So I will catch you in a little bit after I eat this. Okay, finally on to last meal of the day. That's going to be 3 whole eggs and then 2 full slices of sourdough bread. There's also going to be 180 grams of 93% lean ground beef, drowned in mustard for the sake of chewing and getting through this in hopefully less than 25 minutes, and then 1 medium-sized apple. If you guys haven't noticed, do fruit with pretty much every meal in the off-season too, which is something that I think has really helped me, number 1, with adherence, because you get something to look forward to, and number 2, definitely with digestion. I think that a lot of guys, like especially in bodybuilding diets, everybody's like, oh, chicken, rice, broccoli, right? Everybody's hammering vegetables with, yeah, vegetables can definitely help, but I think a lot of the fiber that you can get can also be from fruits, especially in the off season. For me, when I'm picking fruits, you notice there's a lot of berries. I do apples and then pineapple. Apples have, of course, skins, which is a lot of really great fiber. They're also just like refreshing and good to eat. Same thing with the blueberries, lots of antioxidants, and again, fiber. So if you're gonna pick fruits, I would pick seeded berries or skin fruits, things that have good dietary fiber. That definitely helps with keeping things consistent throughout the off season, which is going to be really important. If you're pushing a bunch of food in, you need to make sure that food's coming out and it's coming out solid. Way too many guys dealing with like IBS in their off season, this kind of stuff. Same thing, like the sourdough is fermented bread, so this whole meal here is kind of set up before bed. A lot of fats, a lot of fiber, and easy on digestion, so I can sleep comfortably without feeling bloated or any of that stuff. So this meal actually feels really good once it's sitting, but it is the chewing gauntlet, so I can't wait to get that diet face and show you all the freaking jaw gains I've made this off season, because it's been a lot of chewing. On that note, I'm going to include the total macros for the day right here, so I do not recommend you try this at home. Justin Shire's still writing all my diets, so I'm just following the meal plan that he's given me, and it's been working so far. So with that, I think that's it. I'm going to eat this food and then go to bed. But as always, if you guys like the video, like it, I would love it if you subscribed or even share this with a friend. I hope this one was a little different, and then definitely as we go through, if there's things that you like, you dislike, you feel like could be better, I'm really open to feedback right now. I want to make these something that's enjoyable and people actually want to watch. You don't just watch them because I'm asking you to. So that feedback is always welcome. But yeah, with that, thanks for tuning in, and catch you on the next one.